Now that we've created our account with SiteGround, we're going to log into our newly created account and try to set up a WordPress website. So from the home page, click the little login at the top and enter your login information. And when we log in, it takes us to our administrator homepage, so to speak, and from here we can do tons of things. First, just to kind of walk you through a little bit, I'm going to click the My Accounts tab at the top. And this page is just kind of an overview of the packages you've purchased already. As you see, I have more than one now. I've got my main Street Fighter design website and the streetfire.life one, which I just actually created. Now my domains are hosted elsewhere, so you're not going to see them here. In fact, at the bottom of my list you see external domains and it shows them, but they are currently hosted elsewhere, and you might see this yourself too. But if you have them hosted actually on SiteGround, it will probably display them a little bit differently than it does in my account. If you want a little bit more information about one of your hosting accounts, you can click on the gray Manage Account button to the right of each domain name, and it'll open up Informations and Settings panel that displays a little bit more information about your hosting. Now before I continue and show you how to install WordPress, let me just backtrack a little bit, even though I don't like to do that. Sometimes when you create a brand new account, SiteGround will automatically show you this window here, and it's a pop-up that says welcome to our website setup wizard, and it gives you some options on jump starting your website process. So the first option it shows here is get WordPress pre-installed on this account. If you would like to, you can choose that option. It might help you through a little bit quicker, but in my case I've had my account before, so I've already kind of went through this, and in my case I selected I don't need setup help because I'm familiar with the process. So we're not seeing this window in my tutorial here. You may not see it on your end, but I had seen it, I think, the first time I signed up with SiteGround, and I just chose not to go through their process with this one. So if you did see that and you went with it, that's fine. You know, follow that through. It's probably very intuitive, but for my purpose here, I had selected the I don't need setting up help. So from that standpoint, I'm going to take you back into the control panel here in the dashboard and show you how to set it up without going through that pop-up window which SiteGround had provided. To get started from our panel here, we want to click the red button that says Go to cPanel, and that should open up a new window here, and just leave the checkbox marked, and then you can select the Remember My Selection to not show the message again if you like, and click Proceed. And then it opens up another panel, which is actually our main control panel, and there's lots of icons, lots of buttons here, but we're specifically looking for the WordPress tools, which is about mid-page, and the icon to the far left says WordPress Installer, and that's what we're going to click here. Now on this page it gives you a little bit more information about what WordPress is, what it does, and some of the space requirements it needs and whatnot, but you can read that in your own time. Right now just click the Install Now button under the couple paragraphs there, and it's software setup time. You can choose if your site has an SSL or not. In this case we're not going to choose that. We're just going to leave it to HTTP. You might want to go ahead and choose HTTP : //www. That's more common. And then you choose your domain. I'm going to leave the one it pre-selected for me, streetfire.life. If you've got a different one, you might just drop that down and search for it there. The next option is if you want to install WordPress in your root domain or folder. So let me explain that a little bit. Your root domain is essentially your main site. So if I typed streetfire.life into my URL in my browser, it would go to the root folder, which is at streetfire.life. If I were to put my site in a subdomain like / WordPress, my site would not be located at streetfire.life. It would be located at streetfire.life/WordPress. So if you want to do that, you can, but I think most applications you're going to want to just leave this field blank. Next, we go on to site settings. You can choose to preset your WordPress site's name here and your site description. Don't worry about getting these absolutely correct right now. You can change them later if you like, but I'm just going to go ahead and put something in here for now. And here you can put your site description. I'm just going to type a tagline in that I use frequently. And the third thing is enable multi-site. You just want to leave that checkbox unchecked for now. That's not something that most people want to deal with. You can also type in your admin username here. This is what you're going to be using every time you want to log into your WordPress site and make changes. I would suggest making it something easy to remember, but not super easy, because you don't want hackers to be able to guess it necessarily easily. So I'm just going to put in SFD admin 1. You also want to make note of whatever you choose for your username and password, because you're going to be using them frequently. So just take a pen and piece of paper and jot those down, or save them in a Word document, however you normally handle your information. You're also going to want to change your admin email to one you use regularly. Select plugins. I would just leave these unchecked for now. The limit login attempts is beneficial, but I don't think most people would necessarily need that initially. So just go ahead and leave those alone for now. And you can also select a theme to install, but at this point I probably would just leave it at none, because you can see in the WordPress dashboard it's actually easier to see what different themes look like and install them from there. So this is something you can change later on. Just leave it at none for now. Once you have all the information entered here, you're just going to scroll to the bottom and click this install button. Once you click install, it's going to go through this process of checking the submitted data. Okay, and that only took a few seconds, and once it's done submitting the data, you've got this message that says, "Congratulations, your software was successfully installed." And it gives you the location of your new WordPress site, which is streetfire.life, which is what I set in the beginning. And this is also your administrative URL. You can log in here and make changes to your WordPress site from the back end. So theoretically, if I were to click on my domain name right now, you should see a WordPress website. And if you actually registered your domain with SiteGround in the beginning of this process, that should probably work right now if you click the streetfire.life URL. However, for me, when I click this right now, it opens up a GoDaddy page. Why does it do that? Well, if you remember in the beginning, I actually had my domain name registered somewhere else. So I need to change my name servers on my domain in order to see my WordPress site. Now some of you don't have to do this. You can just ignore me right now and turn off the video, because you're essentially done, as long as you actually purchased or registered your domain with SiteGround in the beginning of this process. If you didn't register your domain in the beginning and you have it hosted elsewhere, stay tuned for another video, because I'm going to show you how to change your domain name servers on your URL on another hosting platform so that they point to your new hosting server on SiteGround. And once we do that, it'll take maybe 24 48 hours at the max for your DNS or domain name server to kind of refresh and start pulling up the new WordPress installation we just made.